Hey guys, today we have Fazan and he is having total 2.5 years of experience in Java, Spring Boot and microservices. And guys, those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Fazan, how are you?
Hi Faizan, I'm good.
Okay, so guys, today there are two Fazans in one frame, so it will be very interesting. So Fazan, I think we should start now. So can you please introduce yourself and your recent project in brief?
My name is Mohammed Faizan. I'm born and brought up in Vadodara, Gujarat. I did my bachelor in SVIT, Anand, Gujarat. Currently I'm having a 2.5 years experience as a Java backend developer in healthcare product-based company. I'm recently developing a de-identification module for a healthcare product in which we de-identify your patient data and go and send to downstream services for ML and Python services.
So do you know how Spring Boot converts JSON into the Java objects?
Yeah, it is used Jackson serialization process.
Jackson serialization process. Do you know about object mapper?
Yeah, it is internally Jackson use object mapper to
Jackson.
convert the JSON to our Java POJ object.
Okay, correct. Okay, so let's say if one of the JSON there is an attribute age, and age having 20 means TWENTY in the string means age colon 20 is sent for an int field. So how will Jackson serialize this, or it will be able to do or not?
Yeah, first of all, it is a malfunction format of our JSON, and we
Mm-hmm.
can use using valid annotation. And
Okay.
if in that case, it gives a message not valid exception.
Yeah, that's correct. So Jackson throws a deserialization exception here. That would I mean that's name is I think HTTP
Message
message not readable exception, right?
not valid exception.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fadan, can you tell me the difference between valid on request body versus manual validation in service layer?
Yeah, mostly we use valid annotation on a meta parameter like
Mhm.
request body and validate on a class level in the uh, uh, class of our fields or properties. The validation
Correct,
like not
correct.
blank, it's max mean.
Mhm.
These are the example of validation in a
Okay, how
service level.
would you design a conditional custom validation annotation?
Conditional custom validation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think we directly use annotation on a field, and
Mm-hmm.
if there is an error, we can directly throw an error message to the field in the field in the client page.
Yep. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's say you are working on a REST API, right? And now you have missed adding a status code in the response of the REST API, right? So what's returned by default if no HTTP status code is specified?
I think it's written 200 in the
Yep,
response
that is
area.
correct. Spring returns HTTP 200, okay, by default.
It is not good
Okay.
for production. There are valid codes for creation and find not found and internet servers.
Yeah,
There are few
definitely this
codes.
is not good
Yeah.
for production. We must add these status codes if we are returning anything. We may be deleting, we may be posting, right?
Yeah,
We may be
because we
getting the
notified
data.
the user to this error.
Correct. So what's the best practices then, other than this adding status codes? What are the best practices we should know, we should consider while writing REST APIs?
Yeah, first of all, we should return response in response entity format.
Okay.
It bound the message in the request in a body, and also we can define the error body and also a
Mm-hmm.
header, which we can send to the client, and also
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to the status code.
Got it. Okay. Hey guys, I want to share something important with you. Actually, Faizan prepared from our interview preparation kit and cracked multiple interviews. We have also referred him to the multiple companies. So guys, let me tell you, this interview preparation kit has four main parts. First is complete interview preparation material. It is a step-by-step material made by me, expert and MNC's interviews. 99% of the questions asked in interviews are covered in it. Second is two real enterprise client projects. Code and video recording sessions are there, and you can add this in your resume. Third is lifetime chat support. Here you can ask your doubts anytime. Fourth is referral support. Here we help you to get referred to the top MNCs. So basically, the material is organized as per your experience level and covers Java, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, microservices, Kafka, Maven, Git coding questions, Stream API coding questions, and many more. You can buy just a complete interview preparation material or the full interview preparation kit with project supports and referrals. I have added the links in the description below. So now moving to our interview. And guys, before moving to our interview, since Faizan is there, so we can ask for a feedback. So Faizan, can you please go ahead?
Yeah, sure. It is a good kit. It is. I have collected multiple interviews, and I have also interviewed in one of the agencies, and it is a very helpful for your beginning careers and angel persons also.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, buddy. Now moving ahead. Okay, have you worked with API versioning?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we should use or when we should utilize the API versioning?
Uh, mm, like suppose in a starting phase we
Mm-hmm.
implement a prototype. These are the
Okay.
version we can use version 1 or version 0,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then after validation and we actual cast to product staging or production, if we can
Mm-hmm.
versioning via header versioning or API end versioning.
Okay, got it. So did you a part of any API versioning?
Not right. I have outside my personal career, I have used.
Okay, so did you part of any migration, any programming language migration or framework migration or database migration?
Not at experience.
Not at all. It's fine. So are you working on a microservice architecture or monolithic currently?
No, I'm working with Microsoft architecture.
Microservice architecture. Okay, so can you tell me how much microservices are there currently in your project and also tell me their names?
Yeah, I have. We are a healthcare-based product, and we have
Okay.
hospital access panel,
Mm-hmm.
or doctor panel, patient panel, and we are insurance panel because we work in most of US hospitals, and we
Okay.
are the insurance validation. We
Mm-hmm.
also implement or securing the all these microservices, and I'm part of it.
Okay. So can you please tell me how do they communicate with each other?
Yeah, mostly we use asynchronous
Mm-hmm.
because each service is independent. We
Mm-hmm.
use token based service communication. We use Kafka as well as we use SQS. For synchronous communication, we use OpenFrame or REST API web client. And so, then mostly we use asynchronous communication.
Got it. Can you tell me the difference between transactional on service versus repository methods? Transactional annotation on service versus repository methods.
Yeah, transactional it ensures the what are the operation performed in this method in the class, and whenever there is unchecked exception, runtime exception occurred, then it should be rolled back by default.
Mm-hmm.
It's a functionality of a transactional in a class. I mean, repository it is also for repository. We can use the transactional. I don't know
Actually,
exactly about repository.
yep. We don't need transaction annotation on repository because repository methods have individual transaction by default, right? A service level transaction creates a single transaction across multiple repository calls and ensuring atomicity and consistency. Okay, so let's say we need a transactional annotation on service files in a business requirement, but we missed it, we didn't add it. So what could be the consequences?
If there is an occur and data should not be saved to the database, and what our without transaction orientation it should be, it shouldn't roll back, it should
Mm-hmm.
be saved in errors, malfunction error in the database. It should
Okay.
be a transaction whenever we use a delete update or anything. If we are using reading also from the database, we use read only to the true on transactional methods. It is good to have on our method error class.
Got it.
because it is a proxy based actually.
Mm, correct. Have you worked with Saga pattern ever?
Yeah, in my company, there is no Sega pattern because we are on healthcare based data. I have developing other system in which I have there are all services and microservices and
Mm-hmm.
in service using or synchronous using a Kafka, and I have used a Saga pattern. If I have one of project order management system in which order place and inventory reserve. After the inventory reserve, if payment fails, we should publish the payment fail to the inventory, and it should roll back the inventory reserve and allocate
Okay,
to reserve to the database. It
got it.
is a
I have
compensating transaction.
Okay, I have a follow-up question on this. Let's say order is placed, inventory is deducted, payment is succeed, right? Now notification service is failing. We are not able to send the notifications to the buyer or seller. So would we should we use here a Saga pattern, or like I just want to know the role of Saga pattern here?
Because notification service is not uh, affecting our actual production, and we can use add-on potency key for retrieving the notification service or sorry resilience for
Mm-hmm.
a circuit breaker. We can use
Mm-hmm.
exponential backoff and bulkhead or rate limiting on this service.
Yes, yes. Actually, it will be very costly for us if we just revert everything, payment, inventory, and all, just due
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the notification service. We can do that later. We can send emails and everything later, right? We can
right,
add the retries here in the notification system. If
yeah,
first attempt is failing, just retry again in each 5 minutes gap, right? We can do multiple things. That's a post order is placed, right? Yep. In here, in this condition, we don't need Saga pattern. Okay. So in Saga pattern, there are two things: orchestration and choreography. So what's the difference between them?
choreography means every service reacts to other service.
Mm-hmm.
Orchestration means the distributed the server which is tells a microservice to what to do and what will to do next.
Mm-hmm.
There are main difference.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Have you used executor service in a multi-threading environment?
Yeah, we use executor service. It is very useful for back of manual creation. We can define
Mm-hmm.
a thread pool size and maximum course pool size, and we can directly use. In Spring Boot, we use async annotation for
Mm-hmm.
directly to the performer task executor to have multiple
Mm-hmm.
threads. It's
Okay.
beneficial.
So let's say we have to create threads, right? But we should avoid creating threads manually especially in production. So we should use executor service and other methods here, right? So why we should avoid the manual uh, thread creation?
Because in production, if there are uh, a load on server and none of threads
Mm-hmm.
are useless, and in executor service it actually reuse our re, reuse our idle threads in the production.
Mm-hmm.
That's why,
Okay. Yep.
and
Correct.
it's totally thread management itself is the executor service.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It
Okay.
decouples the
So
JVM management.
yeah, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so can you tell me what is the purpose of pom.xml file in our multi-module Maven project?
Yeah, POM is the main entity of our microservice architecture. We define the dependencies in a POM, and also we define a parent and versioning in also POM as well. In multi-module, there are the main parent POM. We defined
Mm-hmm.
it is used for mostly versioning in our microservices and directly uh, deployment of the modules.
Okay. Okay, so have you faced Maven dependency conflicts in your career ever?
Uh, no, I
Okay.
really not that.
Sometimes we face the Maven dependency management issues, right? Versions issues, version conflicts, right? And we could use Maven dependency management in the parent POM or explicit declare the required version in the dependencies.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I found this in my class of the form with the dependency management.
Mm-hmm.
We define manually like Spring Boot, and in the era of Spring AI, we also define BOM, on a bill of
Mm-hmm.
materials, in which we because versioning in Spring Boot is very crucial because
Mm-hmm.
some of features are available not in other not in that's versioning important.
Correct, correct. Okay, so let's say you have merged your PR into the master branch, right? Now you just want to undo the last three commits that were pushed. So how would you do that?
Last commit.
Last three commits.
I think we use git command cherry pick for the uh,
Cherry pick
usually
is used for revert or merge.
no, sorry, it is for merge cherry pick from
Mm-hmm.
one branch to another. And this commits are goes to this branch. We I think we only
Have you heard
rollback.
about git revert?
Yeah, git revert. Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
can
Yeah.
use git revert and just use the commit IDs to
This rollback the our
revert. Mhm. Correct. Let's say your application crashes with out of memory error in production, but not in staging or dev environment. So, what could be the issue here, and how would you analyze this issue? How will you debug this issue?
the mostly out of memory errors come from the heap. In
Hmm.
heap we only store objects
Hmm.
and for which mostly we memory leaks like we use static references and it never close in files which is never close resources mostly which is never close.
Hmm.
We should to close or shut down our resources in after using that.
Yep, yep, that is correct. And we have tools like Visual VM, Eclipse, J Profiler, right? We can also utilize
Yeah, yeah.
those. Remember.
Yeah, I'm in my current company. We use VM tools to uh, what this method, how much time it take to
Hmm.
execute, or how much memory it take. We monitor using VMs too, VM user.
That is nice. Okay, so is a Spring Singleton thread safe?
Yeah, it's in those threads because another thread it tries to acquire it is shown if object of singleton is null then it creates otherwise it's lose the
Okay. Like
use.
Spring Singleton, we have scopes and all. So, there is
Yeah,
a one scope Singleton. Yeah, actually, the answer is no. Spring Singleton is not a thread safe. Spring manages bean lifecycle, not thread safety. Developers must ensure the thread safety when Singleton bean maintains mutable state. Okay.
so request prototype scope it is a thread sir.
Yes. Okay, so moving ahead, what's the difference between collection and collections in Java? Collection and collections.
Collection is a root interface of
Mm-hmm.
uh, root interface for root interface. It is extending the list array list queue. It's extending
Mm-hmm.
the collector, and we can use collection for storing generic type of data.
That
In
is correct.
collectors, we perform the some kind of operation like sorting. We can use a comparator of in on the collection.
Yes, collections is
Yeah,
basically
collectors are mostly collecting the data into a list to map in set. it is useful.
Yeah, that
The
is a
terminal
different,
application.
collector is a different concept.
Yeah,
I was asking about
I will a
collection
little bit
and
confused about it. Yeah.
collections. Collections is a utility
Collectors
class
and
that
collection.
provides. Yeah, yeah. Okay, moving ahead. uh, 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 so have you worked with hash table in Boot or Java?
Yeah, has I'm I'm using hash map.
Hash map. What's the difference between hash map and concurrent hash map?
Yeah, hash map it is not thread safe. More
Mm-hmm.
and mainly in concurrent hash map it thread safe.
Mm-hmm.
In in hash map we put null key or null value as well as in concurrent hash map it doesn't allow to add null values.
Yep. Okay. Moving ahead. Um, okay. Do you know about fail fast and fail safe mean?
Yeah, fail safe like array list and hash map because if we iterate to and if we add two element on that iterable
Mm-hmm.
collection, it throws concurrent modification exception, which is fail fast and fail safe with the concurrent hash map and copy write arrays.
Okay. What's the difference between concurrent hash map in Java 7 and Java 8?
I don't.
Okay. So basically, Java 7 uses segment-based locking, where each segment had its own lock, whereas Java 8 removed segment and used CAS operation plus synchronized locking
Concurrency.
at bucket level. Yep, yep. It improves the scalability and memory efficiency, basically. Okay, and what's the difference between normal hash map and linked hash map?
Link hash map it's maintains the order and hash map it doesn't.
Okay, tell me why, what if, okay, so we have a compare to method, right? So what if compare to return 0 for unequal objects?
Compared to returns 0 to unequal objects.
Hmm. Okay, so collections like treeset may treat them as a duplicates and discard one object. For example, employees stored only by age may lose records with the same age. Okay, okay. Moving ahead. So how you guys are using exceptions in your current project? Is it global or is it at a service level?
No, no, we use global exception using
Okay,
REST
so what
control
are the
APIs
important
exception.
annotations for adding global exception?
Yeah, first of all, class annotation is a REST controller advice and
Mm-hmm.
method level exception ladder, in which we define our custom exception and we
Mm-hmm.
can throw from the service and we can define the proper HTTP error format in the
Okay.
exception ladder.
Yes, yes, that is correct. Do you know about exception chaining?
Exception chaining.
Mm-hmm.
It writes is child to child to and parent is propagates through the parent. It is like exception chaining. I don't know exactly
Yeah.
about.
So basically, exception chaining links one exception to another, so the original root cause is preserved. This helps when converting low-level exceptions into the application-specific exception, right? Okay. So let's say you have multiple APIs in your Spring Boot project, right? And there is one payment API that occasionally times out. So what would you do to handle this situation, or how would you debug this scenario?
First of all, we use uh, for which service we use circuit breaker and retrieve
Mm-hmm.
after the
Okay.
exponential time. If
Mm-hmm.
we should perform retrieve after interval of 5 to 10 seconds after, and this is the first step. And Yeah, this
Okay.
should be driven better.
Yeah, yeah, and also we could handle timeout exceptions separately, implement retries with limits. We could use circuit breaker, log failures properly, and return meaningful responses, right, without impacting the
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
business.
We use logging, like
Mm-hmm.
each event should be logged in proper format, which is very
Mm-hmm.
helpful for debugging because debugging microcontrollers is very complex.
Correct, correct. Okay. So, how you guys are doing security? How you guys are securing your application? Just tell me.
Yeah, mostly we use JWT authentication,
Okay.
stateless.
Mm-hmm.
With JWT, we use mostly access token per refresh token concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we use multiple security filter chain, and some APIs didn't uh, uh, didn't have any authentication. So we
Mm-hmm.
bypass the using request method and permit all. Otherwise, any request will be authenticated via security filter chain. And we use once per request filter chain. Each request with a JW main concept. Each
Mm-hmm.
request should be filtered for the next down services. And we mostly use security in a API gateway level because it is very helpful to maintaining and
Mm-hmm.
rerouting. And we mostly retrieve mechanism in the API gateway also.
Correct, correct. Okay, so Faizan, can you please share your screen? And I would like to share two or more coding questions, right? And you have to do that
Yeah,
through Stream API. Okay, so I think I should share the question. So Faizan, let's say you are given a list of string representing sentences, right? You have to find the longest word among the list by using Stream API.
a list of strings.
Yes, list of strings. Okay, so is it done or like
Yeah, yeah.
um
For
okay,
confused
so
characters,
got it.
that's why.
Okay, so now you have put it, you are returning the string which has a maximum length. Okay, now the follow-up question of the same coding question is, can you go to that your coding page? Yeah. Okay, so Fadan, now question is, you are given a list of strings as you mentioned, Gen Z career, Fadan Ali, Muhammad Fadan, Amit Gupta. This is mock practice, right? Now the twist
Yeah,
is you have to print the max longest word among all the strings. Here Gen Z career, Fadan Ali, and I think Muhammad is the longest word here. So you have to print it. Just go ahead. Okay, so you have done. So can you please explain your approach?
Yeah, first of all, we have to split all the string in
Mm-hmm.
via separator, and we have to
Okay,
flatten because of there is a nested list. We have to
correct.
flatten via a
Mm-hmm.
list of strings or array of string, and then we
Mm-hmm.
sorted with
Correct.
the length of the string, and then the reverse.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Okay, so yeah, I think both questions are correct, both coding questions. So I think we have to wind up the call. It's done from my end, and it was a very, very nice interview. Faizan, you have answered most of the questions, and even you have answered the two tricky coding questions. So yes, it's good from my end.